What's going on? Did have a guest tonight. I've been kind of slacking in that department lately. It's been a little bit of a slump personally, so my bad on that. I do have an episode on my air. It was pre-recorded last year. Finally got approval on it, so I'll edit it and throw it up for Friday morning. So I figured I'd jump on and talk about what's new with me and some things are going to change, some changes on the channel, stuff like that. What's going on, Matt? Brian? Trying to get a cigar to light. I let it burn out, and I'm gonna be hurting now. I got a feeling. There we go. You still love me? I appreciate that. So, no, I'm gonna add some stuff to the channel. Maybe take some stuff away. Just trying to change things up. Trying to change content up. Um, just trying to try some new stuff. So, I am. I think I'm going to add another stream. I don't know. Man, this thing is choppy. Let me see if it'll knock that 4K out. I think I'm going to do a secondary stream. I don't know how often I'm going to do it, but I'm wanting to have a stream where I break down a service call from start to finish. A couple reasons for that. I think it'll be good to show how to do some of the stuff, but I think it's also going to be good to force me to record more content, do a better job when I do record content, because a lot of times I'll record stuff and it's chopped up and messed up. So I think I want to try to use that to force me to be a little better with the content recording. So I picked up another action cam. We'll see. I'm excited for that. But it's going to keep me a call in progress. What do you mean by that, Quentin? Oh no, not in progress. No, I'll record it. I'll have it on YouTube, and then I'll break it down while I'm streaming. And then people have questions, they can ask questions and interact that way. I don't know. I tried to go live on a call before. It's kind of rough. Chris Stevens used to do it every once in a while. It gets hard. You get wrapped up in a call, you forget what's going on with the chat and everything else. So it can be kind of rough. So I don't know if I want to get that crazy, but I do think I'm gonna start, recording more, putting more up, and then I'll take that call. I'll take a call a week, maybe every 2 weeks. Just depends on how it goes, and I'll break that down on a live stream. It's just gonna help me with interacting. Yeah, Chris. I remember you used to do it every once in a while. I'd catch you on there. I'm like, I don't know how in the world he's doing this. I've done it with the Meta glasses, and the problem is with those, the battery life's terrible on them. I mean, it's really cool because it just looks at whatever you look at, but the battery life's terrible. I did see on TikTok there is some like external batteries you can put on them. Puts a little piece on the bridge where the charger is, and it has a little battery that clips on the side, and it's supposed to work out pretty good. I thought about getting a set of those, and maybe I could try something like that because I really liked recording with them. It made it easy. It was fun. I'm not wearing a hat with some big goofy camera mounted on it like I do now. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Try to show where you're working at. I'm not trying to ruin customers. I work for a big giant conglomerate, and it can be touchy sometimes, and I'm not trying to make anybody mad or step on any toes. So I probably won't go live, but I think the call breakdown thing would be good. Yeah, Quentin, it is like acting, directing, and editing a movie simultaneously. It's a little hard to do. So I don't know about the live stuff. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start a secondary stream. I don't know how often I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try for every couple weeks. Maybe do a live stream one week and then that stream the next week. I'm not sure, but I think it'd be cool to show off, some of the stuff we work on, how to fix some stuff, and some things we see in the field. There is some people on this channel that doesn't know anything about cooking, and I really appreciate them hanging out and checking it out. I think it'd be a fun way to show off what we really do. Yeah, Chris. Chris says he's yeah, I'm in the same way, man. That's like I was telling Jason and Rich, I was like, man, I don't have a guest this week, and honestly, I don't really care. I was like, it's kind of weird to be in. I'm trying to focus more on my health as I smoke a cigar and have a drink, but I'm trying to focus more on diet and exercise. I've been going to the gym every single day for at least a half hour, more like 45 minutes every day. Doing some strength stuff, some cardio stuff. I'm just trying to lose weight. I had a pretty cool announcement in the family this year, and I want to stick around as long as I can to see this thing come through. And I'm excited for that. More can come on that later. I'm not at liberty to say, but yeah, I think it's time. It's past time to take care of myself. When I started this industry, I was an electrician, and I was active up and down ladders, carrying rolls of wire, humping it. I was busy all day long. And I came over to this industry, and I sat in a van half the day, drove around all these restaurants. People feed you. You're the hero. And, at first I didn't take it, and then eventually I did take it. Dang, Brian, that's awesome. And then I did start taking it. And next thing you know, I went from like 225, 235 to 440 at my heaviest. I've had several big swings of 100 plus pounds over the last 10, 12 years, and I'm sick of it. So just trying to make lifestyle changes, diet changes, and just be more cognizant of what I'm doing to my body. And hopefully it works out. I mean, luckily, I am. I don't. I don't have any precursors for diabetes. Cholesterol levels look good. My doctor always tells me he doesn't know how I'm not pre-diabetic or diabetic because of my size. So I'm luckily unfortunate there. But I finally developed some high blood pressure. I'm on medicine now. It's knocked that down. So it's just time to take care of myself. Free sodas, Chris? Yeah, that's rough. I drink half a gallon of water a day and then probably 2 energy drinks a day. Luckily, the zero sugar ones are 10 calories, but it's still not good for me. So standing desk and walking mat. Yeah, no, I'm not doing a standing desk. I'm not here enough. I do try to walk more if I'm at work and I'm on the phone or doing a call or something. I'll go walk while I'm doing the call, talking to somebody, or if I got a meeting or something, I try to walk more while I'm doing that. Just trying to be more cognizant. Yeah, I used to love Mountain Dew, man. I'd live on Mountain Dew. Now I try to drink a lot of water and I mix in energy drinks. So as far as the channel, um, I already mentioned about doing the secondary stream where I break down service calls. It'll just be a video of me, and then the other side will be the YouTube video, or if I still have it saved on the computer, be on the computer, and we'll just run through how we do it. And I think it'll be cool. I am stepping up some stuff in the studio. I've got new lighting coming, new lens for my camera coming, a different mount for my camera coming. So I'm trying to get some furniture I'm bringing in here. I'm gonna change up the view, the lighting, and all that stuff. I'm trying to just be more aesthetic, I guess. Try to be get a little different look, a little warmer look instead of being so bright or white. But yeah, I'm trying to improve slowly but surely. When I started this, I didn't think it'd be 4 years in and where I'm at now. I'm very fortunate that I am where I'm at. A lot of times I look and I think that I should be further along than I am, but I got to realize that I this isn't a full time job. Kind of a weird market. Not a whole lot of people do food service repair, so it's kind of niche there. And I just got to take what comes. So I've never bought followers. I've never paid for any advertising. I just kind of just do it on my own. So we'll see. Just trying to grow and try and keep the channel afloat and do my thing. I'm very fortunate though. I can't complain. It's been a blast these last 4 years, and if I make another 4 years, so be it. Yeah, it would be pretty cool to see to use for some asbestos stuff as training. my relationship with success is getting better every day. Becoming more involved. I actually tried running for the board last year, and I could not run because there was already 2 members from limited service group on there. So I have to wait till this fall, and I'm going to try to run again for the board of directors as be a board member at large. Um, I'm really excited for that. I'd love to see a technician on the board. Just a goal of mine to be a technician on the board. Just been some in the past, and it's really cool to see, that there has been technicians involved. And I think a technician input would be huge for Cefesa, be huge for the industry, and I think it'd be really cool to be a part of. That was awkward. I was gonna stream on TikTok, but every time I smoke a cigar on TikTok, and I already lit it by the time I thought about streaming, so I wasn't gonna put it out. So I've had the sugar-free C4 package, Brian. I'll have to check those out. I generally just use the Ghost. They're like sugar-free and like 10 calories. Um, they've got a Welch's grape that's freaking amazing. They've got an orange cream soda that's pretty good. It's just coming out some new ones, so we'll see. I think they're coming out a root beer one. I may get in trouble if they have a root beer one come out. So what's everybody up to tonight? I am just hanging out by myself in my garage, trying to catch up from being gone for a few weeks. Just turn around and leave in another week and a half. I'm gonna go. I'll be at Vegas for the ESCO conference. Let me see the actual name so I don't butcher that. So I'm excited for that. It's always fun going back to Vegas, but it's going to break me. 2 trips to Vegas. So it's the 2026 National HVACR Education Conference. I was named, one of the top 25 educators, influencers of 2026, and I'm gonna go out there and enjoy my first ESCO conference. I'm excited to learn some stuff, to see some new people, some teaching side of it. So I'm really excited for that. And holding max 6 unit, that doesn't sound fun. Oh, it's awfully early if you be at home, Chris. It's only 5 o'clock, ain't it? I see you've been working on the cooler freezer combo. Where'd you find those clear Polaris connections? Brian, yeah, I'm still rocking EPC. It's working. I like it. I haven't had any complaints so far. It hasn't let me down. I've had trainings with me, so I've been using their tools quite a bit. So it hasn't got as much use as I wanted to, but it's going pretty good. Is that Baltimore, Quentin? I believe that's Baltimore. If it is Baltimore, I'm trying to go. 2 weeks, we have Indianapolis Region 2, and then the Top Tech Throwdown on Friday afterwards. And then Region 1, I believe, is April. So, yes, it would be Baltimore. I'm going to try to be there. I've never been to Baltimore. I'm going to go hang out with Gil Cavey from HVAC Uncensored. I'm going to try to do the regional the regional meeting. And then, of course, I'll do the Top Tech Throwdown on Friday, and I'll probably come home Saturday, maybe Sunday if I can stretch it out a little bit. But I'm excited to get out there and check it out. I'm not sure where they were holding. I thought they said something about Vulcan. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misspoke there, but it should be a good time. I'm hoping the finals of Cefesa streamed. I know they're going to be recorded. I wanted to show more of the regionals, but unfortunately, it's the same components getting shipped around the country. So we didn't really want to get that out there so we would get an advantage. But I'm pretty sure we're filming the national championship, and I'm trying to get them to have it rolling on TV like a national conference. Do some interviews with everybody that's there, the champions. So we'll see. I think it's good for our industry. It's good to show it off. It's good to show off the technicians, and it's a good way to get some people engaged and wanting to be a part of it. I wondered there, Chris. I figured it was I've never heard of a Waco HVACR show, so I wasn't sure. So Yeah, Bruno still gets to come in occasionally. Just depends on what's going on. She's been traveling some. She travels a bunch. She has to go to all the regional meetings, so she misses quite a bit when those are going on. But no, Bruno still gets to come in. I think she actually made a TikTok or an Instagram video of him the other day coming in. So running around acting a fool. So no, I've got ESCO coming up week after next, and then I come back and I work a week, and then I go to Bloomington, Minnesota, to General Parts headquarters, and I teach 2 more weeks of refrigeration. So I'm going to help teach and work with the instructor up there so he can teach it from now on. But we have seems I think 7 people signed up for this class, so 2 weeks, and I'm excited for it. I wish I could teach more. It'll come. This is the first couple go rounds. We're slow, but I mean we're not that slow. We have some big installs coming up, so we kind of get lucky. We don't have to do that. Um, it's been hit or miss. We were busy with some of that. People were slow. I can't really complain in my market. 80 next week, Megan. Yeah, Kelly was looking at Vegas the Friday before we go. So like 97 degrees. That's wild. I know Arizona. We got a regional come up there in April, and they were already complaining it's like 98 degrees tomorrow there. So we'll see. It just is what it is, man. It was super warm and nice here the last couple of days. We were upper 70s. Today it's been rainy and cooling off. Had some pretty bad storms roll through last night and this morning. Big tornado up north. Yeah, we only get about 3 or 4 snows a year. It just seems like the East has been getting hammered this year. We had a lot more snow than normal. A couple big storms. Seems like everybody out west had a pretty chill winter. Old fashioned. I hardly ever drink anymore. Oh, I came back. Oh, that was weird. I tried a new battery pack for this camera because it was overheating last time. It didn't overheat. I don't know what happened there, why it stopped, but it came back. Where you at, Greg? Are you on call, Chris, or what? Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, that's what I worry about. The snowpack in some of these places that rely on that heavy snow, melt for water for the year. It'd be pretty rough. I did my on call last week, and I only got called out Saturday. Saturday night, 7 o'clock. I drove an hour and a half to adjust the door switch a quarter inch, and an hour and a half home. So I got paid 3.5 hours to sit in my butt. I can't complain. It could be worse. I could be getting just hammered nonstop. So yeah, that's what I got going on. I'm just trying to step up the content, trying to be better, trying to be a better person, mentally, physically, trying to lose some weight. Um, I don't know. I just kind of I want to be better, want to do better. But I just my goals or my wants don't really meet my goals. I kind of get a little ahead of myself as far as I want, and try overcommitting on things and doing too much, and it comes to bite me in the butt. So hopefully, yes, small steps every day. Same here, man. Yeah, I try to be a little better than I was the day before. I don't want to miss any gym days. I was doing really good before February, and February was a whirlwind. Um, I was in Vegas for HR for a week. Came back Friday. That Sunday, I went to San Antonio to Wednesday, came back, worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, turned around, went to back to San Antonio for 2 weeks. So February is kind of crazy. I tried to work in some workouts when I was home, and then when I was in San Antonio, I found a local gym, started doing some stuff. So hopefully this place I'm staying at in Vegas has a gym, at least a treadmill, so I can just go out and walk, I guess. But it's really focusing on not overeating. My biggest problem isn't really overeating; it's uh, emotional eating. I handle stress terribly, and when I'm mad, I eat. When I'm happy, I eat. When I'm sad, I eat, and it's just my go-to. Unfortunately, it started off as falling asleep driving. I have sleep apnea, and before I had a sleep machine, I lost several jobs. So I'd fall asleep in wrecked vans. I've hit people, telephone poles, parking bollards, big yellow poles in parking lots. I've done it all. Luckily, I finally got a sleep study and a CPAP machine, and I'm good to go as far as that goes. But I was eating like crazy when that stuff started going on because that's how I'd stay awake. I quit smoking, and I was just eating like crazy because I realized if I was eating, I'd stay awake. So that was my go-to, and it's kind of morphed into a how I handle stress or how I handle everything else. So it's not good, and I'm aware of that, and I'm trying to be better. Yeah, yeah, I think it is too. I think there's a lot of people in the industry, whether they're influencers. I hate that word. I mean, there's no other word that's better, I guess. But whether they do what we do, um, they're just kind of like blah. I mean, it sucks. It's just part of it. I know, I get that way a couple times a year. Generally, it's not right after HR. Generally, after HR, I'm pumped up, ready to go. But this year, I just kind of hit a little different. Yeah, I got to have some stuff to think about, Greg. I have ADHD, and when my mind has nothing to focus on, I am an absolute wreck. So, Quentin, luckily, all my kids are grown now. Actually, both my boys work with me. My daughter, 25, oldest son's 23, youngest son's 20. Both my boys work with me. So I don't have sports or anything after work anymore. So what I try to do is I just get up at like 3:34 in the morning. I get up at 3:34 in the morning. I pack my gym bag the night before. I pack my lunch the night before. It's in the fridge. And I get up and just go. I'm generally at the gym by 5, if not before 5. Get my stuff in, and I'm generally still on my first call by 7 o'clock. Tomorrow I got a hour long drive. I'm installing a bunch of combis over the next couple of days at a university, and I'm gonna get up at 3:30. I'll be at the gym by probably 4:15, 4:30. I'll get an hour in. I'll drive down the job site and get to it. Luckily, my wife she loves sleep, so she goes to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock with me, and she sleeps till 7 o'clock. She's pretty lucky, but yeah, that's how I do it, and it's worked out pretty well. I am right now currently intermittently fasting, so I don't eat my first meal till probably like 3 o'clock, and then I try to eat by 7 and be done. So um, that's what I've been trying to do lately. So I just only eat 2 meals. That's just easier. It's working out for me. Chris, we ought to be brothers, man, because that's the same way I am. Uh, I don't mind is terrible for me. I think the worst of everything. One time, my boss wanted to talk to me. He's a regional guy. He wasn't in town. He sent me an email. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in town in 2 weeks. We need to have a meeting." And that was the longest 2 weeks of my entire life. And I told him, I was like, "Look, next time you're gonna do this, you cannot tell me we're having a meeting in 2 weeks. Like, it'll just happen, and it'll just be what it is." I said, "But I cannot have a meeting scheduled for 2 weeks out because my mind will go absolutely bonkers, man." It's a definitely a weird place to be. I tried getting on medicine for it, and that was like the worst thing I ever did. I tried like three different ones and had the weirdest side effects of all of them and quit taking it. Eventually, the doctor's like, "Well, let's try another one." I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I've lived with this for 40 years. If I make it another 40 years with it, I'll be happy." And I was like, "We're not treating this. It is what it is, man." I just didn't feel right. I probably didn't give it enough time, but it just wasn't for me. So you get your equipment ordered for your walk-ins yet, Chris? Or are you still trying to figure out what's going on with that? If I had some more vacation time, I'd come out there and help you. That'd be a fun little project. Unfortunately, I burnt all my vacation time on trade shows and ESCO and stuff like that. So uh, I am out of vacation time until I've got a few days. I'm just saving here or there. Nice. Yeah, the weight is the hard part. I mean, that's a big chunk of change too. I mean, condenser unit, evaporators, line sets, electrical. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Did you answer where you got those clear Polaris plugs? Because those are pretty slick. I'm gonna have to get some for my next job. I'll probably have to go buy some Polaris plugs for these installs I'm doing. Rich, you don't even have vacation time. What are you talking about? Uh, yeah, I can go on some pretty bad tangents. I like to hyper focus on the dumbest thing, like the most irrelevant thing. I will hyper focus on it until it spins so wildly out of control that like I will ruin my day over the dumbest, the stupid, most small, the most minuscule thing in the world. I will ruin my entire day over it, and it's terrible. I've been trying to catch myself when I'm starting to spiral. I try to catch myself and bring myself out of it. You can start taking month long vacations, and I'm coming with you, Rich. I don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere, buddy. But I mean, that's the bad part about doing what you guys are doing. Matt and Megan's in the same place. You know, they're building a business, growing a business, and they got super demanding customers, and it is what it is. You're growing and building too, Rich. Um, you got some good guys, and I know you're looking to do more. Just part of it. Rich, we can't get Rich to do anything. He came to Sefesa Regional meeting, and I was surprised he was there for like 3 or 4 days. And I think the only reason he came is because he wanted to go look at a vehicle. Don't quote me, dude. If you do a week in Gatlinburg, let me know because I will be there. Uh, I absolutely love Gatlinburg, man. The redneck Riviera, whatever you want to call it, it's my jam. Nice, Chris. Nice. Married to the business, yeah. I love this business though. Um, I don't work. I work for a big giant conglomerate. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I work for General Parts, part of a limited service group, part of Parts Town. Uh, it's I don't work for myself. If I work for myself, it'd be a different story. But I still love what I do. I still love the things I get to do. I still love that I get to teach. I still love that I get to travel, um, to do some of the cool stuff I get to do through work, and I'm just very fortunate. I thought about doing my own thing one day, and who knows if that'll ever happen. I just don't want to chase money. I've talked to people, and they say they're not in the repair business; they're in the chasing money business because they chase more money than they do fix stuff. So I don't know if that's for me. Everybody's different. Yeah, Brian, it's rough, dude. Man, it doesn't take much, dude. Does not take much. Like I started getting that way earlier today. Um, this install coming up, I wanted to get out there and talk to electricians, see what they had to do, and you know, I had it all set up last week with the salespeople and and to go out there and talk to the electricians, the salespeople, and everybody was there to see what I want it done, how I wanted it done. And my dispatcher had other ideas. She didn't want me to do that. She wanted me to go run other calls. I'm like, we're not that busy. Let me go do this. Nope, you don't need to do it. So I got there today to do my pre-site survey at 4:00. Nobody's on site. I had to get security guy to let me in these rooms, and electricians haven't done crap. I'm like, I've got a double stack 720E, a single 720E, and three 2020Es to install, and none of my electrical's right. I'm like, well, it is what it is, man. You guys should have agreed to let me come out here, but can't win them all. Yeah, Rich, you let me know, man. I'll definitely be there. I love Gatlinburg. We're gonna go for my youngest's 21st birthday. He wants to go there. He wants to rent a cabin this fall. So I think we're gonna go October 18th. October 13th is his birthday. So I think we're gonna go out there around that time because he wants to go and he wants to do all the stupid moonshine tasting and all that other crap. Yeah, but the problem is, Quentin, it's the installs throughout the sham. It's piece rate. It's like there's no extras, there's no nothing. It's just you get hosed. I'm like, it's absolutely stupid. I mean, you can only say so much to dispatchers and hope they listen. If they don't listen, it is what it is, unfortunately. That's the bad thing. Dealers, oh, it's ready, it's ready. You don't need a site survey, and you got there, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I've got one unit, I got a double stack unit that it's so big you can't open the door all the way. The door hits a cabinet. I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? I'm like, I was just told just install it. Like, just install it. I'm like, you can't open the door all the way. I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. Some Tennessee fishing. I've never been fishing in Tennessee. I think I used to follow Reelfoot, Lake Reelfoot or something. There's a crappie outfitter there. I'd like to go do that. That'd be fun. Used to be more involved in the outdoors, and I'm trying to do that this year. Oh, that's another thing I'm gonna do this year. When I come back from Bloomington, Minnesota, I am going on a guided turkey hunt in Michigan, up in northern Michigan. So that's gonna be a fun one. So I'm excited. I've never been turkey hunting. I've always talked about turkey hunting. There's no turkey directly in my area, so I got to drive like an hour north or an hour south or out west. So I'm excited to do that. So hopefully I have some good results. It's kind of the reason why I've been stepping up the gym. I'm not doing the UP. It's just northern Michigan on above Indiana, somewhere on the east side of the lake. So I'm not sure. A buddy of mine set it up. He went last year. He told me who to send the money to and where to sign up, and that's all I did. So I'm at his hands. Yeah, it'd be a fun one, Chris. We'll have to get together. It's always good seeing you at trade shows. It's just super busy. We all got commitments. We all got things to do. I always enjoy, catching up with you and Jill. It's really cool. And Kelly always has fun too. I don't know if I'll ever make it out to California. I'm sure I'll make it out there for something. We have a training facility out there. I may go out there and teach refrigeration. Just got to see what the budget looks like in the second half of the year, and maybe I'll come out there. I think it's more like Sacramento though. But I know when I go up to Bloomington, I'm gonna try to catch up with Pat Nasty. I'm gonna try to catch up with Eric Ani. I'm gonna go hang out with him, I think, for a little bit. So I try to meet people, or wherever I go, hang out with people. It's super weird being in here by myself. I'm not used to it. So, what would you guys like to see on the channel? I was talking about doing some streams where I break down service calls. I need to do a better job recording service calls. Any suggestions on anything you guys would like to see me put out as far as pieces of equipment, type of content, that kind of stuff? I guess I'm just trying to grow. I'm not trying to get rich off this. I just want it to pay for itself and I'd be happy. Maybe give me some trade shows so I don't have to burn through all my vacation and personal money. And if I could do that, I would be ecstatic. So just a little bit about that. But I'm excited for this new stream I want to do. Like I said, it's going to force me to record more content. It's going to force me to do better explaining when I'm recording the content. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully I don't get in trouble. I'm always scared to record. YouTube's hard. I know Chris can understand. Like these restaurants, there's always music blaring. Everywhere you go, there's music blaring, and that just gets you copyright struck over and over and over again. It's over and over and over again. So the copyright thing drives me nuts. Hold on a second. I'm gonna do something real quick. Let me get this set up. I just sent it, Chris. Yeah, how-to tips and tricks are always do pretty well. I don't know how in depth I want to get. It's just going to be a start. Try to get it rolling. I just want to be more war stories, dude. I can have some war stories. Terrible customers. That's always fun ones. I had a guy today. I got called out for a Randall cooler that was under warranty. He was trying to get me to fix his exhaust hood under the same ticket, fix a true cooler under the same ticket. He was trying to get me to do everything. That's not a bad idea, Quentin, because I can actually have like 10 people on the stream. It gets kind of wild the more people you get, but I can have like 10 people on here, so I can have people come on and talk about their ideas. I'm trying to get some manufacturers to come on, talk about how they want stuff serviced. Frymaster's got a new fryer coming out, or it's actually out finally. They're starting to install it in some key accounts places. I'm trying to get them to come on and talk about that. Try to get them to send me a fryer so I can play around with it too. Negative to what, Brian? Oh yeah. If I'm just going back over the live stream, yeah, I can do whatever. I was gonna try to upload them to my YouTube. That way people can go back and watch them. Trying to double dip there. But yeah, the restaurants there's always music, and then people kind of freak out about being on camera. Oh yeah, everything in the same ticket. Oh yeah, dude was trying hard. I'm like, well, Randall's paying for this. They're not paying for your economy hood you bought that's not sucking you out nothing. They're not paying for your true freezer in the back that's at 32 degrees. I'm like, I've got a Randall that needs an air probe. Like it's giving me an EO1. It's not, it's none of the other stuff. Oh no, just look at this too. I'm like, no. I'm like, do you want to pay for it? You want to call the manufacturer and get approval for me to look at it? I'll look at it, but I'm not just doing it because you sent me. You want me to look at it? I mean, especially that hood. I don't even know. It was the weirdest name hood. I've never seen it before. It was weird. Yeah, I'm a stickler. I never do two pieces of equipment on the same ticket. My boss gets mad. I'll just do it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Not much. Oh, I apologize. Hold on one second here.
You're good.
Let me zoom that in. So you guys don't have to stare at my ceiling fan. That's a little bit better.
What's going on? You guys sick of sitting on the couch?
Yeah, I'm bored, man. We're slow right now, so I'm just like, got home, got off a little early today, worked a couple hours, and then went and picked my daughter up from the dealership. She had to drop her car off. This is her first experience. It's going to be a big one, too, where she has to pay for everything herself. So,
was it her fault or just
dumb? No. It's just the car. She's graduated college. So that was our deal. The car will be yours when you graduate. And so it's all on her. I bought her tires just recently and said, this is it. That's my last thing. I'm done. Car's on you now. So she dropped her car off at the dealership and she was like, I could see her eyes getting bigger and bigger as they gave her the quote. And I'm like, oh, that's just the quote to diagnose it. Wait till they tell you what they have to fix. Like,
hopefully nothing major.
Yeah. So
yeah, my kids they all, as soon as they could buy a car, they bought their own car and took care of it.
Yeah. Everybody everybody does it differently. It's funny because like when my daughter, I have 2 daughters. So it's funny because like I think, and I'm like, I had the biggest piece of junk car in the world. Like my wife and I still joke about it because the entire time, because we dated in high school and stuff, the entire time we dated, she watched me change tires all the time. I had rims on my car. They were centerline rims and they had issues. So I had to have tubes in my tires. And so, dude, the tubes would always pop all the time. So I was always changing those. But like here I am not letting my daughters drive piece of junk cars, and it's like, I guess it's a good thing. You want to protect them and stuff, but I hope it would be different if they were boys. I'd probably just be like, yeah, figure it out.
Oh, dude, all 3 of my kids, we have a Yukon XL and I have a Jeep. And my wife drove the Jeep and every one of my kids drove the Yukon XL. We had a Trailblazer at first that my daughter drove before everybody started driving the Yukon, and they've all like wrecked it. Like they didn't really anything major. Like their friends would back into it or something somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Just stupid shit. I'm like, I still have it. Like it doesn't even get rain. I go out and start it up like once a month to make sure it still starts and the battery doesn't go bad. But
yeah,
I mean, that's how it is when you have a service vehicle. You stop on the way home and pick up, groceries, or you run in there and you pick up your medicine on the way home. And my wife works from home, so she doesn't even drive anywhere.
Yeah,
it's an act of Congress to get her to leave the house. I'm like, can you get the mail? She's like, well, Dalton will be off early, so he'll grab it. I'm like, is it going to hurt you to get out of the house for like 10 minutes?
So, Quentin, the 74 Lincoln Continental, is that the one with the suicide doors? Is that the 4-door with the suicide doors? Because that's like a dream car of mine. Absolute beautiful car.
A friend of mine got one. He's restoring it. I'm not sure what year it is. It's a Lincoln, but it's got the suicide doors.
I've heard nothing but nightmares because if you get the convertible one that has the suicide doors, like those convertible tops are a dumpster fire of problems. Like, but it still would want one, just to have fun with it.
Yeah, that was my goal when I built this big barn. Was like I put the 2 doors so I could have a bay for. Like, I want to get a car and tinker with, and then I filled it full of shit. So now I don't have room for a car.
We were just at the when I was picking my daughter up from the Honda dealership, they have a brand new little Honda Prelude because they just came out with the Preludes again, and it was sitting in the showroom. And I don't know what it is about Preludes, there's something about them. I always wanted one when I was a kid. Of course you can never afford one. So I'm like looking at it and it's like, man, I want one of those. And we need a car right now, but I'm like, that's a useless car. It's got 4 seats, but the 2 seat. I was explaining to my daughter, I was like, it's got 4 seats, but you can't fit in the back. And she's like, I don't understand. And I go, it's just for insurance reasons. That's all. It's just to make it cheaper. So it has 4 seats, but
yeah.
But yeah, we're in that weird place right now where my youngest just started driving and we need another car.
Yeah.
And I don't want a car, dude. I literally have one more payment on my wife's Subaru. And I'm like, I don't want a payment right now. I just want to chill out for a while, and
yeah, that's where I'm at. Like we haven't had a vehicle payment in like a year and a half. And I'm trying to pay off all the dumb stuff from building this barn and a bunch of dumb shit I shouldn't have done.
Dude, I'm so deep on my walk-in project, and I'm just like, what, like, why did I go down this rabbit hole of freaking spending all this money doing all this just because I was bored? Like, whatever, man.
I built a barn that I've got more in my barn than I have in my entire property when I bought my house.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I wish, honestly, after doing everything and all the crap I've been going through with my walk-in, I wish I would have built a building first and then put it in the building. That would have been a smarter move, because what a pain in the butt it is dealing with this. I haven't put equipment in it yet, so I haven't permanently attached the rubber roof or put I have a sloped rubber roof for it, but I haven't even put the slope in it yet or anything because I still want to hang my equipment. So I've just been putting the roof membrane, and I have a bunch of cinder blocks. I have like 18 cinder blocks on top of the walk-in holding the roof membrane down, because we get what we call Santa Ana winds here. So we get 70-mile-an-hour winds, and every time I think it's going to rip that rubber membrane. And I'm like, man, those things are expensive. Like, but I'm just, first world problems, right? Like, come on.
Yeah. So did you figure out if you're going to use the, how were you going to mount strut in there? Or are you just going
dude, so here's the thing. I I know what equipment I'm getting, and I'm just waiting for the process of all the crap to come. But I still haven't figured out how I want to do things. Like in a perfect world, I want to build a frame inside the box completely out of stainless steel unistrut all the way around the perimeter of the box, and then have legs going down to the floor, have it lagged into the wall, but have the frame, all the equipment hanging on the frame. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to have all sorts of evaporators in here. I want to be able to have and install an evaporator without ever having to take the top off the box again. Like that's the whole idea. And that's why I wanted to go with unistrut. It's not going to look like a customer's job in no way. It's going to be a training box. That's all it's for. And I've just been, so no, I haven't figured it out yet. There's no way I'm going to pay for all stainless steel unistrut for inside that box. That's going to be way too much money. I'm not doing that. Like I'll end up just doing normal unistrut or something.
So you're going to do your penetrations inside, then you're not going to penetrate through the roof for your line sets in, right?
Not for the line sets. The penetration will be in the side wall. And I've got some interesting ideas about that too, like how I want to do that. Obviously, lots of ball valves, lots of different things that I can valve off. But I was thinking like, okay, so, a really cool thing to be able to simulate low charge would be to have a 50-foot line set just inside the box that's ball valved off, that I could instantly just open the 50-foot line set and then all of a sudden the system's undercharged.
Yeah.
And then pump it down, close the ball valves, pump the system down, pull all the refrigerant out, close both sets of ball valves, then it's back to normal operation. Like there's all sorts of weird ideas passing through my head that I'm like, I want to do this experiment and that experiment. So
yeah, that'd be fun. It'd be a ton of content too, though. I mean, you could teach a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, I don't know how far that content's actually going to go, but in all honesty, I'm not really doing this for anybody but myself in a way. Like I don't know. Whatever. This is way too much information, but I'm a very insecure person. So I'm always like, I don't think anybody watches this stuff. So who knows if it's going to work.
I'm the same way. But what refrigerant are you going with?
Right. Okay. So very interesting, right? Great question too. It's going to be an A2L. Okay. Yeah. So, but here's the struggle. So I was reaching out to some contacts I have at Heatcraft and I was like, hey guys, I'm having a hard time sizing this equipment, right? Because if you try to size equipment for an A2L refrigerant, you're going to realize that it doesn't, you can't size it for the A2L because they don't have equipment that perfectly matches the A2L refrigerants yet. It's really weird, dude. So what do you end up having to do is undersize the evaporators by like 1,000 BTUs, which isn't a big deal for an evaporator because all that does is increase the runtime by an hour or something like that. Like, but more than likely, I think it's 455C, I think is what I'm going to go with because I get the best delivered BTUs and I can use the same refrigerant for medium temp and low temp. I think that's the one I'm going to go with because I really didn't want to have two refrigerants for the walk-in cooler and the freezer. But there's a couple different choices. I think it's 455. I can't remember. It's one of those.
Thanks for hanging out, Rich. Get back to invoicing. You got bills to pay, buddy. You got bills to pay. Yeah. Because Coldpack uses, depending on if it's a small, like encapsulated systems, they use 454A, and then the bigger ones is C. 454C. Yeah, the bigger ones are 454C, but the self-contained stuff is A, 454A.
Yeah, and that's where I'm like torn. This is I still haven't done all the research. I haven't made any final decisions. The other thing, the equipment that I got is technically sized for 448A. So the reason why I kind of just decided to go with, I think it's the 455, is because it's the same nozzle and the TXVs are pre-installed. And that's the other thing too with these with the A2L refrigerants. I haven't completely figured this out yet, but I don't think you're buying bare evaporators anymore. Everything comes with equipment. Like it's already installed.
Yeah, because it's got the mitigation boards.
Yeah, it has mitigation boards and stuff, but you can buy not like Heatcraft offers the option to buy non-A2L because technically you can still install non-A2L evaporators right now. It's just if you change the box. I think, well, no, it's not even the box. It's like a percentage of the system. I think it's like 80% of the system. If 80% of the system gets replaced, then you have to use A2L refrigerants. It's something like that.
New York, I know New York State's 100% A2L now. Like you can't do anything but A2L stuff in. Even if it's like you can have a 50-year-old box and you still gotta go back to A2Ls. But like here, like as long as you don't change the box, I can go buy 448, 449, 404 systems. And
yeah. The weird thing is that I'm surprised New York did that. And in all honesty, I think with all the chaos going on right now, I think that's just kind of getting pushed to the wayside. But I genuinely think that's a little bit of overreach on New York's part. And the way that they snuck it in there without any notice, like literally nobody knew that was coming. And they just last minute, it was like, oh yeah, and you have to do, and it was just like, usually it's us, California, that does that, right? And don't get me wrong, I think that just there's so much chaos going on right now that we're not bored, so we can't just think what new rules we can come up with. You know, like, oh, how can we screw everybody over? Let's make this new law.
I love the guys that their whole take on Freon is DuPont's patent runs out, so they have to come up with something new and force the legislators to change the law so they can own the rights to something else. I'm like, that's wild.
I don't know, man. Like,
I find it funny. I'm like, I'm not on a conspiracy train that deep.
I'm not gonna say that there's not ulterior motives with some stuff, but I just genuinely don't think it's that deep. I really don't. I think that nobody thought, in my personal opinion, nobody thought that the government was gonna push all this stuff out. Like they were just waiting, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, we got to figure something out, and then just all the chaos going on right now, and just I don't know, man, it's wild. Like I try not to get too worked up about that stuff. People ask me all the time, what are you gonna do about this? What are you gonna do about that? And I was like, I don't know, I'll figure it out when it happens. Like just, you know, like it's just, you sound like you're similar to me in the way that you worry about things. I don't know if you do this too, but like I also know I'm very hyper aware of what happens when I hyper focus on something, and I know how exhausted I get because I just work at it, you know, and I shut everything else off and I'm just focused on that. I am able to say, no, I don't want to put my mind to that right now. And it may look like I'm being lazy. It's just, trust me, what I'm going to go through to deep dive into this topic. Like so that's why when people are asking me, what are you going to do about the A2L transitions? I was like, I'm not even going to think about that. Like I'll figure it out when it comes. Cause here's the bottom line. There's nobody to enforce any of these rules right now. Plain and simple. There's nobody, right? The only people, like legitimately, the only people that are going to follow these rules is dummies who put their information on the internet, and everybody's going to call them out and report them to every freaking municipality, right? Or people working in government stuff or school stuff or stuff that they legitimately have to pull permits for. But even, yeah, it's just wild, man. Like,
yeah, you know, the whole thing about, oh, if someone turns you in for venting, I was like, dude, I see people get turned in for venting and nothing has ever happened. And nobody's ever followed up with it. Nothing's ever happened to it. I think it's just a big scare tactic a lot of times, just to scare people.
Now that's an interesting one. Greg and Megan are talking about the 15-pound leak rate stuff. So that's interesting too. But again, there's nobody enforcing it yet. But I'm not saying it's not going to. Like, customers need to fix their equipment, bottom line. And we all know customers, 15 pounds, that's a big deal, that number, because that's basically a 3 horsepower system and above. Maybe 3.5, you know, that's a 15-pound charge. I mean, the standard charge on a 2.5 horsepower, maybe 3 horsepower Heatcraft condensing unit, they have 14-pound receivers. Same thing with Russell too. So most of the light commercial stuff we're dealing with in restaurants is 14 pounds max charge for the most part, but that's knocking on everybody's back door. Can you imagine? Like, nobody even grasped this concept. Can you imagine if they truly followed through with leak, you know, whatever reporting crap? Dude, the restaurants, the industry would go bankrupt.
Oh yeah.
Dude, every restaurant has refrigerant leaks on everything.
You'd be $30 at McDonald's for lunch for yourself, dude.
Dude, like,
yeah.
And I don't even want to bother talking to my restaurant facility managers about this, because they're going to be like, what, who are you? Like, no, we're not doing that. You know, like, oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, that's why I love R290. Just let her go.
I just don't understand why we haven't. Can we get rid of this A2L nonsense and just go to R290? Like, I get there's danger there, but come on, man. Like, can we just stop this stupid game?
That's what I said. I said, let's just go straight to R290. When the A2L started making a big thing and everybody's freaking out about it, I'm like, do you guys not know anybody that works in like restaurant refrigeration? Like, we've been dealing with A3s for 12 years. We've used the same vacuum pump that shoots a spark out the back to pull a vacuum on the system. You know, like, we haven't had A3 rated tools. I don't know if you guys are freaking out about A2L tools. I'm like,
look, so I mean, I want to ask you this because I don't know that you can actually answer this question, but I'll tell you right now, I do not have any A3 rated tools. None of my vacuum pumps. Obviously, we're not using a recovery machine on an A3, right? So, but I don't know, man. Like
I had
marketing
Navex,
hype. That does a bunch of marketing hype on the manufacturer side.
yeah. So I have an A3 rated vacuum pump and A3 rated recovery machine that Navac sent me, and I was like, I'm never going to use that on A3. I'm telling you right now. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it logically, like I understand it. I'm not trying to make light of potential danger. There is totally potential danger in our industry. If we can laugh about it because we're technicians and we know, I know you're a competent technician. You know that I'm a somewhat relatively competent technician, right? Like I follow some of the rules. Okay. I know when not to do something stupid, but I also know that like a lot of this hype is just pure marketing so people can sell new tools. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love buying tools. I am a person that's recommending buying. Like I'm a tool whore, I love it. But like, I'm not going to go buy all new tools for every one of my employees because we have to work on A3s. You're purging the system with nitrogen. Mm-hmm. What's left in it, dude? Maybe some minor vapor in there. It's not going to blow your vacuum pump up. Come on. Like
it's going to candle. It's going to candle a little bit. That's going to be it. It does light. So Greg brought up a good point. Did you ever do true warranty when they were sending out that water filter looking thing?
No, but I went to a true training class when they gave you that filter so that way you could get rid of the potential hazardous.
You get to pull a vacuum on the filter and then suck it out. Like,
yeah,
world. And then you get the green canister that looked like they bought it at Walmart.
Oh yeah. Well, that was because that was actually interesting. In the very beginning, we rushed out R290 refrigerant, right? And True was one of the first manufacturers to adopt it, but to the point that we didn't have a system that you could legally ship the refrigerant from coast to coast. So that's why they were using those propane cylinders, because you could ship those through the mail, basically. And so they were using those because that was the only system. So if you used any of those weird propane canisters, you had to buy those stupid adapters to hook on to, and then it would like reduce it down, like 5 fittings to reduce it down to this. One of my biggest gripes with the flammable refrigerants when they first came out, the R290 and the butane, was that first you had this tank, then they got rid of that and you had to buy a new fitting. And it was only $40 a fitting, but it was like, dude, I did that like 3 times. Like, how many times are we going to buy stupid fittings because you stopped selling this can of refrigerant and I have to buy this new one? Can we adopt a standard here? And I don't even know if I think for the most part, most of the cans now have the same fitting on the top, but what we do is we go to United when we find, because of that PTSD we have from buying all those stupid valves, we just go to United and we buy 3-4 cases of R290, right? So then that way we don't have to worry about it for a year, and then it's like, oh, as we're getting close, can we, buy another couple cases of that R290 stuff, and
it's all standardized now. It's all pretty much the same. Like, and most of your kits come with 2. They come with the one that fits like the can Trues used to have.
Yeah.
The standard one, like they're all pretty much the same now. I will tell you, there's a certain R290 cooler in a certain location that is full of camping gas, because I was an hour and a half from the nearest supply house that had R290, and it was Friday at 5:00, and they were screaming. So there was an Ace Hardware store down the road, and I went. I ran it through a filter dryer and just pumped it in there, and it's
so. I had a bunch of people reach out to me because when I was, obviously making R290 videos for years, and when I was first doing it, I had a bunch of people reach out to me saying, "Stop buying that stupid R290 and just buy this stuff. I buy it from this company." So I was like, well, I'm gonna take a gamble, and I bought a tank from this company. And dude, it was a normal propane cylinder, like barbecue propane cylinder, that showed up at my house, and it says R290 on it. And first thing I do is crack that, and that's propane, dude. Like, come on, you can smell it and everything. And then everybody's like, no, that's the best stuff. It works perfect. Some people swear by using that. I just can't find it in my stomach to use it on a regular basis. Like, I get it. You got to do what you got to do. I don't think it's going to end the world, but yeah, I think that there's a racket with that too. Actually, I know there's a racket with that, because if you look at the prices of R290, like, it's insane. It's more than R22. If you do the math per pound, R290 is more than R22 brand new right now. And it doesn't make sense. Like, that is it's waste gas, right? Because R290's propane's a byproduct of the oil industry, right? They get it from, there's a couple different ways they can get it, but it's a byproduct. Like, And it's like, so you filter it 3 more times and you don't add mercaptane to it or whatever the odorant is, and it costs more than the stuff that has mercaptane that hasn't been, like, come on. Like, it's just a way for them to figure that one out too.
Oh, it's a racket. 100% a racket.
Yeah.
That's why I said that coolers ran for like 9 months like that. And I was like, oh, if ever goes down, let me know. But
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. Like, we haven't been having a lot of problems with coolers lately. We've had more walk-in. Dude, I've been on an exhaust fan kick right lately. Dude, I've changed more exhaust fans this year than I've ever changed any previous year. It's been insane, dude. Because one of my customers is just like on it right now. They just, if it's leaking grease, let's get a new exhaust fan. And it's like, okay, like literally, like one of the first world problems that I have right now too is I have probably 15 videos that are all exhaust fan installs. And I'm like, I'm not just going to keep releasing exhaust fan videos. So I'm like, well, I guess I just slow down a little bit until I get something that's not exhaust fan related right now.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have one. I made that video about my coworker packing that one full of grease, and I was like, grease was not the answer to the service call because it was down the next day. And I was like, okay, you guys need a new exhaust fan. This thing's like 20 years old. And the customer's like, no, we're not replacing it. He's like, the only thing underneath that hood is an electric tortilla grill where they heat the tortilla shells up. He's like, we're not putting an exhaust hood back on it. I was like, oh, come on.
I've had lately, I've had 2 different restaurants, same restaurant chain, but 2 different restaurants where they have a hood that they don't use anymore. And the fire marshal lost his crap because they didn't want to fix it. And they made them fix because they're like, if you have an exhaust fan, exhaust hood, the fan needs to work. And they're like, we don't have cooking appliances under it. It's nothing. And they go, doesn't matter. Needs to have the exhaust fan on. So we have to go install a new exhaust fan. And then we have to go and find power in the motor starter room just for that one hood and put a switch just for that one hood. So that way, when you turn on the main switch, it doesn't turn on that hood. And then the customer, when the fire marshal walks in, goes, look, I can turn it on, but that's it.
Dude, they'd have a heyday in my area because all these old ass KFCs have these weird exhaust fans on them. And like the KFCs, a lot of them here used to be like a KFC Taco Bell concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pizza Hut. So like half of us abandoned. So like they just use like dry storage under it. And like there's these exhaust fans are just like falling apart up there. And I'm like, you want me to fix this? They're like, no, we don't use it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I feel bad for the customers too. I'm like, you really need me to fix that? Like I literally, actually, I didn't replace the exhaust fan at one of them. We just put a new motor in it because they were like, yeah, give me a new fan. And I'm like, you know how much money it's going to be for a new fan? I could put a motor in this thing. It'll, less than $1,000. We'll put a motor in all of our labor. And then I felt so bad though, even giving them that bill. And I'm like, and then to install a power switch. And I'm like, okay, look, it works. Okay, cool. Just leave it off. Cause then I balanced their building with the exhaust fan off. And I'm like, yeah, don't turn that on. Trust me. It's just going to mess everything up.
So we were doing a bunch of startups for HVACR for a while.
Uh-huh.
They send the whole like balance kit and everything. They want us to balance the hoods and everything. I was like, I am not doing this.
Really?
They're like, yeah, it came with like it came with everything.
Did they send you like a Pell grid, like a grid that you, okay. Yeah. I really, really would love to learn more about air balance and like legitimately be certified in it. I'm just like a backyard person that just knows just enough to be like, yeah, I could balance this out,
Like, yeah, I open a door and I'm not hearing air rush in and the door's not pushing out on me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as long as the smokes that with my restaurants, like I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert at it, but as long as they're pulling up the smoke, what I typically like to do is slow down the exhaust fans as slow as I can get them, right? Least amount of energy wasted. Just get them to where they're pulling out the smoke. Be honest with you, the slower the better, because if you're not pulling up that aerosolized grease up to the roof, it's even better, right? It's hitting the hood filters and it's stopping. Because that's another thing, man, is all these restaurants, a lot of people don't understand. They'll comment like on videos and stuff. I don't understand that these restaurants change their process and what they're doing in their kitchen so much. They're like, well, why don't they install variable speed this and that? And I'm like, because nobody wants to put that much money, because 6 months from now they're going to stop selling that and they're going to roll something else new out and they got to upgrade everything again and do all this stuff. So like they always try to make things work with what they have, and
yes, when that VFD freaks out from under voltage or over voltage,
it's
fried and like, okay, well, now I got to order a VFD. So now I'm putting a contactor in and wiring around the VFD so you can use your hood. I'm like,
dude, I've had an entire
like $3,000. I'm like, and it's 3 months away. I'm like, what do I do?
I had an entire restaurant chain get sold on variable speed hoods for their entire chain across the country. All new restaurants built from 2004 up all had variable speed hoods. And after about 5 years in operation, they realized that every power problem they had, they would knock out 5 VFDs at every restaurant. They would have problems with them all. And so they would replace them. And yeah, at the time, $1,500 a pop. One VFD, one VFD, one VFD. And then they just basically got so sick of it, they made a mandate, no more change in VFDs in any of our restaurants, bypass everything. And then we were like, well, we can't just leave you guys running with bypass because there's no motor protection, right? So then we went in. I haven't done it to all of them. There's still a few they're dragging their butts on, but I've gone in and rewired their entire hood systems, put in motor starters for all 5 fans, wired it into the fire system, wired it into the alarm system. So basically when you turn on the hood switches, puts all the ACs in occupied, opens the economizers, just does everything it's supposed to do. And
you had a video series on that, didn't you?
I know I've done maybe one video, maybe I've shown some Instagram clips. I have to be careful because like you said, a lot of this stuff you can't film, you can't. It's just like, I just don't know if I should put that on the internet, that's a liability thing. Like, we're just going to leave that off the internet.
Dude, everything's branded in these restaurants, napkins, everything,
dude. Even like people don't realize how much goes into every box has a brand on a box. Every walk-in, every shelf has a brand on every label, like everywhere you go.
I can tell most restaurants by the floor tiles.
It's interesting because I have higher ups from my restaurants. They'll be like, hey, where's that video at? What video? The one where you showed this and you showed that. And I go, oh, that's this location. He goes, okay, cool. He goes, just so you know, he's like, I got like 15 emails because everybody knows that I'm your facilities director. And he goes, they're all saying you're at my restaurant. And I go, and he goes, they all can tell from the tile. And I go, the funny thing is what they don't know is I can go from restaurant to restaurant and they actually, a lot of them have the same tiles. But it's just like, oh, okay, whatever, man, no big deal. But yeah.
It's funny. But yeah, like you said, the boxes, even the part numbers will have it'll be like an initial for the restaurant chain. Like,
dude, the refrigerators, because they're custom made by manufacturers, they have labels on them that have logos from the restaurants on the refrigerators. You can tell from the model numbers, like you said, from the refrigerators, because it's specifically made for that chain.
Every refrigerator for Buffalo Wild Wings, everything for Buffalo Wild Wings has a BW in front of it. Model, like the fryers, the coolers, everything says it has BW somewhere in that model number. I'm like, are you kidding me? You guys
I can safely say I no longer do work for them. So I used to do work for them, but yeah, definitely.
Warranty, that's it. We got away from it, man. We had 3 stores, and they were corporate, and 2 were close to Indy. They were like in Indy proper.
Yeah.
One was like an hour and a half out of Indy, and the only one we'd ever do work in is the one an hour and a half in Indy. And they had a deal that they didn't pay overtime, and then they didn't pay travel time. And
so they would just abuse that, huh?
Every Sundays, we only charge double time on Sundays and holidays. Every Sunday and holiday, they'd call in an overtime call. And I'd try to get out of it. I'm like, dude, we're losing money for me to drive 2.5 hours to this store.
Yeah.
Money. And like, nope, just go. And I'm like, oh my God.
I only did corporate stores. I had about 6, I think, maybe 8 at one point. And honestly, towards the end, we ended up letting them go because there's a lot of writing on the wall right now. A lot of writing on the wall, and it hasn't happened yet, but it's right there. So one of mine closed. And dude, this store, the kitchen AC, I lost the compressor, and it was 22, and they wanted me to convert it over to some bullshit. And I was like, wait a minute. So I went out there with the compressor. I didn't have the refrigerator yet, but I went there with the compressor. And I was like, let me check something. I opened up the heat exchanger. I was like, nope, not doing this. The heat exchanger was just trash. I was like, got all this. That restaurant, they didn't have heat for like 2 years. And every March, they'd bring in these big, giant commercial portable air conditioners and duct them up into the ceiling. And they ran that for like 3 years. I'm like, and they just never changed that unit. So in my area, again, this is all just opinion and whatever. But yeah, I believe they got rid of the entire facilities team, and I believe it's outsourced now. I could be wrong on that, but like things where there was a bunch of weird stuff happening, and I was like, and I had some friends that had a lot of their restaurants, and they were like, yeah, man, things are getting kind of weird. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and just nip this in the butt before it becomes a problem. And So yeah, whatever, each their own. But the funny thing is yeah, I'm gonna stop at that point. But
don't say anything too incriminating. This is the internet.
Yeah. Let's just say this was about another restaurant chain that I no longer do work for, and even after I fired said restaurant chain, they continued sending me work orders through their invoicing platform for months. And they would literally put an emergency work order for a walk-in being down. And I'm like, guys, I would message them, be like, I no longer service any of your restaurants. Like, you need to take me off your number one priority list, send it to the next person. Oh, can you please reject that work order so it'll automatically send to the next person? And I did it once. And then the next time, another emergency work order. And I go, guys, I politely message them. You guys need to figure this out. I told you I'm done. Deal with it. I'm not. Well, can you reject it again? No, sorry. It's the principle now. I'm no longer logging into your system. It's all on you guys. I let you go with notice over 6 months ago, and you're still sending me work orders, begging me to reject them. So you can, no, sorry, not happening.
Like, yeah, everyone will reject you. I'm sending you an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, admin fee. For sure.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Restaurants are, I mean, I love working in restaurants, but it's wild some of the stuff they do, man. The people and management.
I like genuinely helping people. I like working for restaurants that are good restaurants that genuinely feel like you're working for a team. You know, because let's put this out there. A lot of people don't know, as a business owner, and Pat, I'm sure, you know, you deal with this too, but there's a lot of fancy words that go around. And one of the biggest words that restaurants like to use is that you're part of their team, or you're a partner. Like, yeah, you're our service partner, you know? And it's like, as our service partner, we expect this from you, and we expect that from you. And this is a great partnership. And then you just start questioning, like, what about this is a partnership other than you just telling me what to do, you know? So we don't work for any of those customers anymore, but there's a lot that like to flex and be like, yeah, you're part of the team. Like, I'm not part of a team. I haven't gotten paid on half these invoices, you know? Like, come on.
If I was part of the team, you wouldn't owe me $15,000 in back.
Exactly. But again, I no longer work for any of them. So yeah, it's all good. But I genuinely like helping people. I like problem solving, you know, and I love fixing stuff. I do. I just don't like the administrative side.
And that's probably what's kept me from doing my own thing seriously. Is, you know, the admin side, the chasing money, the, hey, you got to pay me. And I wouldn't mind it from the big people. It's the mom and pops, man, that, you know, especially starting off, you're going to have to deal with some mom and pop places just to stay busy. And you go in these restaurants and you see the owners in there working, and most of the time they're not doing it because they want to. They're doing it because they have to. Like, yeah, they're working for free. And it's like, it's
one thing that bothers me too. Again, I don't let my negative side, you know, whatever, change your mind on different stuff, but like there's a lot of good that comes too, like the freedom that I have. Like, I've genuinely thought like, oh yeah, I should go, you know, work for this company or work for that company and just have less stress in my life. But then my wife, she's like super smart. She's like, do you really think you'd have less stress? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, do you really think that you would go work for someone and be less stressed? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, you carry your stress on your shoulders no matter what you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, you probably know me better than I do, so you're pretty right. Yeah,
I get people all the time like, hey, come work for us. I'm like, oh, you'd hate me. Like,
yeah,
you do not want me working for you. I was like, I know way too much.
I think I'm too much of a prima donna as I've gotten older, because I wouldn't be willing to be like, I'm not ever going to go work for someone, but if I did, like, let's just say I did, like, I wouldn't be willing to be in a normal on-call rotation. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just too old to deal with that crap. Like, I'm just not doing it. And I don't mean to not be part of a team, but I'm just not what people are looking for. Like, you know, I don't mind fixing things, and I don't mind helping out, being in an on-call every once in a while, but there's no way I could keep running my business if I want to be on call 24/7. Like, you know, I wouldn't like.
That's a good point. Yeah. I don't want to start over anywhere else. I don't want to, it's like, no, I'd love to go learn like rack refrigeration somewhere. I'm like, I don't want to start over. I don't want to be at the bottom of the list. I don't want to be like, I'm not about that life. I mean, I think it'd be cool until it's July and I'm working 90, 100 hours a week.
I genuinely have always had a hard time. Never worked supermarket, never done it. No, just enough to get into trouble. That's about it. Yeah. But I genuinely have always had a hard time with the hours that supermarket techs put in. And I know when you talk to the younger guys, they're like, yeah, this is the greatest thing. I'm making 200 grand a year. Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's like, no, man, nobody should be working those hours. Nobody. And I get it. It sucks. As a business owner, I could see the other side. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's better to have one guy getting a crap ton of overtime than to have 5 more employees and doing shifts. Like, it makes more sense financially, but nobody should be working as much as they do. Like, it just, I've just never liked that.
Our industry, as far as restaurants, pretty demanding, and they have a lot of product in their walk-ins and stuff, but imagine, a Costco or a grocery store or something, like the amount of money they have in these walk-ins, because their walk-ins are storage rooms. I mean, they're huge, or their cases, like, it's got to be fixed. It doesn't matter what it takes, just fix it. I mean,
and on the supermarket side, I mean, we have to deal with it on the restaurant side too. If you get into some of these bigger chains, you get consistent work, but then they buy their own equipment. They want to buy their own package units, their own refrigerators, their own ice machines, and then they just want you to install them for them. So you obviously have to change your business in a way, and so that way you can make money on labor and parts, and then sometimes not on parts. But on the supermarket side, like, as far as I understand it, with some of these big giant chains, like, yeah, you're not selling refrigerant to Walmart. You're not selling refrigerant to these ones. You're just going there to do the work. They're supplying a lot of that stuff, and maybe I'm incorrect on that, but that's just kind of what I've heard over the years with a lot of these big players. They're not letting you sell anything. And it's like, so where's the money to be made for a supermarket service company owner? I'm sure there's money in other places to make, but it just, I don't know. It's just,
I don't know. So we do some work for a manufacturer. I won't say the name, but like, they supply all their parts for every warranty call. It comes in and they send parts. Like, we have piles of parts. They don't even want them back. It's that bad. But dude, we're charging them like $50 over street rates because no one will do their work because they supply their own parts and they pay it. Like, I think we're charging them like 185 or 189 an hour. And I'm like, and they pay it. They don't care. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you can compensate on the back end to make it on the labor, yeah, I would do something where, like, I don't currently work for any customers that provide parts unless it's a warranty call. Warranty, yeah. I totally understand. Manufacturers, yeah, you're doing that, but even then, like, I only do warranty work for certain manufacturers, the ones that actually appreciate us as a service company. And maybe that's a bad thing, but I'm not willing to be nickel and dimed and questioned about every single thing I do, and not make any money at all. Like, it's just, Yeah,
you're a for-profit organization.
Yeah. So
you've got bills to pay. You've got guys to pay. They got families to feed. It's just part of it.
For sure.
That's the weird thing, because I work for a big giant conglomerate, man, and we do work for pretty much anybody. It's like, it seems like every day it changes, like, who we do work for. It's just kind of wild, the stuff we get into.
Dude, the turnover rate for companies right now in the industry is pretty wild, dude. You've have some, we don't need to name any names, but you have some big players, nobody that's associated with you guys, but you've had some big players that have rolled out across the United States, and very quickly we're like, yep, nope, they're not working on any of those places anymore. Like, that was a quick rollout that we had this last year. Some big companies came in and they did not make it. Like, they still exist, but they're no longer working in restaurants. So they didn't make it very long.
People think they can do it. I mean, and
dude, restaurants are a whole nother animal. I mean, you are literally, you're not only fixing equipment, but you're trying to troubleshoot, and you're figuring out human error too in your head. Like, when the manufacturer starts giving you pressure, why are these temperature controllers all failing on these reach-in coolers? And then you're like, well, I don't know. They're just bad. You sent me out to replace it. Well, we're no longer warranting them, but you need to tell the customer. It's like, wait, what? No, that's not me. That's not my job. I'm just here to fix it, But then you have to start figuring out, like, why these are breaking. And then you realize, oh, it's the night cleaning guy. He stands at the end of the cook's line with a 5-gallon bucket and chucks it across the cook's line because he only has 20 minutes to clean before the restaurant manager's leaving the door, So, and it's like, every time he chucks that bucket, it hits the louvered grate on the reach-in cooler, and the water goes up into the temperature controller. Perfect every time. Like, when you figure that stuff out too, you're like, that's it. Do that again. Hold on. Get your camera out. Like, that's it. Like, oh my God, it's something so stupid trying to, and then you're like, I know why it's happening.
Yeah. I had a rash of a certain manufacturer. I will remain nameless, but they were putting their temp controls in the back right underneath the opening where the electrical went up into the evaporator section, and it leaked. And I'm like, why do you guys put this here? Well, the wire's got to be covered. I'm like, you can put that controller off to the side. Like, it doesn't have to be directly below it. I'm like,
yeah,
that's the reason I keep changing this controller. Well, we don't know yet. I'm like, no, I know that's exactly what it is. And I'm like, it's ridiculous. I'm like, quit putting that controller there. Nope, they keep putting them there. I'm like, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, and then they just keep going bad. I had a major manufacturer that their compressors would all rust out at the suction stub on the compressor all the time. This was about 5 years ago. They've changed compressor manufacturers. But when I figured it out, I was like, why does every one of these compressors rust out at the suction stub tube, And it's like, what is going on? So I started to notice something. Every time you would have a leak on that system, this was way before R290, you'd take the leak detector right over to the compressor, boom, it'd go off. You'd pull the insulation back. And I never put 2 and 2 together, but when you pulled the insulation back, water would always come out. But then the compressor suction stub tube would be rusted all the way up to the steel. Like the steel on the compressor would rust out. And then it started dawning on me. If you looked at it, the insulation, the way that they ran the insulation to the compressor created a tiny little trap, and water would sit there and fill up in that insulation and then just drip onto the suction stub tube of the compressor and rot it out. And I told the manufacturer, I was like, guys, I have changed probably 20 to 30 of these compressors in the last year because we were doing all their warranty work. And I'm like, every one of these is from the same thing. If you guys cut back the insulation a ½ inch from that compressor, then if that little trap fills up, it just drips out onto the ground, not into the compressor. But they don't seem to appreciate that. When you tell them, they're just like, okay, whatever. And then it just keeps getting shipped that way. And it's like, well, and people will comment in the videos. They're like, well, what, you should solve that problem for the customer. You should let them know. And it's like, I'm done trying this stuff. I've tried telling the manufacturer. I've tried telling the customer. There's been times where temperature controllers kept going bad because of location, because of grease in a restaurant. And one of the first times I found it, I'm looking at this box and going, this is the dumbest design. I could fix this in probably 45 minutes. Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I need a couple electrical boxes. I'll relocate the temp control. I'll move it over here and I could solve it. Call the manufacturer. The manufacturer says, yeah, do it. Get it done. We'll pay you. All right, cool. Talk to the customer. The manufacturer said they'd pay me, but if they don't, you're paying me. Yeah, no problem. Both of them don't want to pay me. Oh, it shouldn't have taken that long to fix the temp control. I go, you never had a problem with it again. Never, because I relocated the temp control and electrical boxes and moved it to a different place, but so it's just, I was done. I'm done trying to solve their problems. I'm just like, you know what? You guys just do your thing. I'm just going to keep fixing stuff.
Yeah. Rich, my co-host, he uses, it's either Dixel or Carroll, makes like a plastic box for their controllers.
Yeah. Dixel does. Yeah.
He slides it over just enough to get it out of that path. And it's perfect.
Yep.
He's like, just put them on. He's like, it's like $13. He's like, I just do it. He's like, it saves me. It saves my customer. It saves me. He's like, it's $13. Screw it.
Quentin, great point. You have to investigate the equipment, the building, and the people. And that's so true. There's so many variables, into what's going on. And then there's an art to investigating too, in the way that you question things. Because what I find is that if I go to my managers and I say, are you leaving the door open? Oh, no, never. But then you talk to the manager. Hey, so what's going on? Oh, the box isn't working. You guys have been here like 3 times. I'm going to get this figured out. Trust me. I'll get it figured out, So then you just kind of casually start asking the manager questions like, what happens? Like, you guys get super busy back here, huh? Yeah. And you just start leading them to the answers that you need. You get super busy back here. Yeah. And like, when you're busy, like you're out on the floor, huh? You don't come back to the kitchen very often. No, we're just like so slammed. It's like, okay, I kind of already picturing what's going on here. So then okay, cool. Well, I'm going to defrost it. We'll get it defrosted. And I'm going to come back to follow up. Okay, cool. So I'll go back on a Saturday. I would just pick up a Saturday, I'm going to go swing by there real quick, mid shift, crazy busy time. And you go back there, doors propped wide open because the cooks are too busy. They're using the walk-in as a reach-in cooler, coming and going. And I just go get the manager and I go, you mind walking? I'm super busy. Just trust me. Just walk back here with me for a second. You walk back there and be like, there's your problem. Well, they don't do that. And I go, yeah, they do. No, they don't. And I go, so you don't think that they prop this door open on a regular basis? No. And I go, so why is that plastic wrap that your cook made a makeshift bungee cord out of all dirty and hanging from there? And you can see where it's been cut off multiple times. So did that just happen today? Well, and it's just like, yeah, so stop leaving the door open and your walk-in won't ice up anymore. Well, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to tell him to keep the door shut? That's not my job. Like, I'm just here to tell you why it happened. Here's your bill.
Those loud door alarms that just start screaming when the door's left open.
Dude, okay, so talking about customers I no longer service, Buffalo Wild Wings. Dude, I installed door alarms on every one of their walk-in boxes in my area. You come back the next week, there's duct tape over every door alarm.
Yeah, or magnets.
Duct tape,
magnets, yeah.
And it's like, so then you ask the guy, why is that? Oh, because the thing just goes off all day. Well, it goes off because if you leave the door open for more than 2 minutes, because I have it set up that way, it starts going off. Well, yeah, we don't leave it open for more than 2 minutes. The timer doesn't turn the alarm on until it's open for more than 2 minutes. Like
we were cleaning an ice machine yesterday. I had my son and my other trainee with me. I was showing them how to strip the social hockey and clean it. And they got a truck at this particular restaurant, and this chef propped the door open, and the truck driver was gone for 2 hours, and the door was still propped open. I was just sitting there looking at it. I was just like, and they were going in and out of it. The chef walked by like 10 times. I was like, next time you call on this walk-in cooler, I'm gonna tell you, shut the door.
Yeah. And I don't mean to be a jerk. Like, I'm genuinely trying to help these guys, but you work for some, like, especially some high volume restaurants. I have one that's a really high volume restaurant, and I swear that every one of their managers has to go to asshole school to become a manager that work for this restaurant chain. Like, that is our go-to saying with this particular place is like, every manager, the prerequisite is to go to asshole school. Like, and so they start out as nice managers, but when they become general managers, that they've been elevated to asshole status. And on the flip side, you can analyze that from the other angle. And to be honest with you, they're put under so much pressure. When you look at it, you're like, this manager has so much responsibility, like all this stuff going on, so that's why they're jerks. But still, there's so much pressure and they get so mad. Why are you keep having to come out to de-ice my walk-in? And I'm like, I'm telling you, dude, it's nothing with the equipment. The equipment's working phenomenal. No way. And it's like, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm trying my best over here. Like, just do what I can. But
yeah. All right, man. I am going to get off here. I appreciate you
man.
for a little bit. It's good talking to you. We had some pretty good conversations in there tonight. It's always good to catch up with you and the rest of the chat. But yeah, have you installed an A2L unit yet? A walk-in?
No. I know a lot about them, but I haven't installed them yet. So
I've done a lot about them from Jay over at Colpack. I haven't installed one yet. I'm like, dude, next time you get one up here, send it to me. I'll install it. I just want to do it.
Dude, so last thing, real quick, a lot of people haven't realized. So one of the big things that people aren't grasping in the industry right now with these A2L changeovers on the walk-ins, huge deal, is that you have to have you don't have to, but you bottom line, you have to have a mitigation valve. Okay. So you have to have a solenoid valve that's helping to mitigate the refrigerant. Essentially, they don't want the refrigerant leaking out inside the box. So if the mitigation board, giant glorified leak detector on the evaporator senses refrigerant, its job is to shut a solenoid valve to get all the refrigerant out of the box. Right. So it's essentially a pump down valve, but typically it's not going to be your normal pump down valve. Now, this is where the gray area is. There's no rules saying you can't use the mitigation valve as your pump down valve.
Yep.
But bottom line, that mitigation valve has to be outside of the walk-in box.
Yep.
By law. So what happens if you have a restaurant that the box is outside, but the line set runs in weird ass places? Like, it runs through the box all the way through the walk-in cooler from the freezer and then exits the box. The mitigation valve has to be on the outside, but it can't be on the outside after it goes through all the walk-in and everything. Like, it needs to be right coming out of the evaporator. Like, that's a whole thing that people haven't figured out yet.
Yeah, and then you get the suction check valve, so it can't.
You can have a suction check valve, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to try to install one, but I haven't done it yet, but I know they're coming for sure.
They're coming. They're all out there. So right on, man. Well, thanks for having me on.
Hey, anytime, dude. You're always welcome to come on. It's good having a conversation with you and interaction with the audience. It was good. It was a good one. I didn't know what to get into. Like I said, I'm terrible about scheduling guests, and I didn't do it this week. I was like, you know what? I don't care that I don't have a guest. I'll just get on here and talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, man. See you. Have a good night.
Cool. Thanks.